With XRP recently pulling back, what should we expect next? In this video, guys, we're going to dive into the world of XRP and dive into the technical analysis here to see what we can expect to happen next with XRP. If you find this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. Right, with this said, done, and out of the way, let's dive down into the technical analysis on XRP. Now we're going to skip over the weekly chart, guys, and we're just going to focus in on the most recent price action. So this will be a slightly shorter video, but hopefully you'll still get all the content that you need from this smaller time frame analysis. So overall, the larger time frame hasn't changed, and we are still talking about $16. We still think that's likely to happen, but we need to also talk about what's been going on most recently just here. So on this daily chart, you can see that we moved up to the 618, and we did get rejected. This actually happened on the 6th of September. Bitcoin pulled us down. We had a bounce to the upside, and then we started to fall back down, and we're starting this bounce today. Okay, we take a look at the stochastic. We are, of course, oversold, and we are setting these lower lows. So we're going to start off with basically just drawing some of this stuff out. Okay, so here we have the lower lows that are being set. Okay. And we can see that quite consistently there. But we also want to acknowledge a couple of things, right? We have the 618 push, and then we have obviously that pullback from Bitcoin. This then sort of bounced. We bounced up to the 618 and got rejected from the 618. That brings us back down to this lower area just here, right? So again, these Fibonacci retracement zones, they really do resonate well. We can then see that we were trading up here before we started to pull back again, right? And I'm going to take this green candle just here, and I'm going to put the low down there. So we can see that we did pull back, and now we're looking to bounce up to probably the dollar level before potentially having another pullback. Now, if we, of course, do continue the push to the upside, then we could actually be looking to push past that and find the resistance of 104. Now, obviously, this is quite unfortunate that we have lost quite a bit of support and resistance here on this particular chart. So we now have a lot of work ahead of us to get us back on track. Now, ultimately, I know a lot of people were saying that it could be an ABC, and it's very possible that that is the scenario, right? And we were talking about an ABC much earlier on. If I actually go ahead and grab hold of my ABC correction, we were originally talking about an ABC potentially occurring over here, A, B, and then we're talking about pulling back towards this 92-cent area, right? Unfortunately, that fortunately, I should say, this particular ABC, it didn't happen because we went and pushed up. But what does that mean? Well, it means that we actually could see another kind of push here. We could see an A and then a B coming in up here, and then a C coming in down here, right? So we have to be quite mindful over what we see there. Let me just see if I can get that back. There we go. Okay. So I'll just remove that for a second and bring this up. So if we actually saw this occur like this, okay, so an ABC, that could potentially be the bottom of it, and then we could potentially now push on back to the upside. Likewise, we could actually be looking at it over a slightly longer time period and say that actually we had the A down here, this was your B, and then this is your C. But again, I don't like this because it's not as neat as I would normally like these things to be, i.e. that should be over here, for example, right? So for me personally, I think that it's a tight ABC correction, probably over here, where we did actually have this kind of really rapid kind of ABC connection. Now, I do think we are likely to see a recovery soon. I don't think Bitcoin is going to be sustaining any low levels. I did a whole video on is the bull run over, so do check that one out if it's of interest to you. But for me, I don't think the bull run's over. I do think we are going to be moving up in a really strong way once we get past September. So for now, we obviously have got a bit of resistance that we have to fight through. So what we'll do is jump down into our hourly and just talk about what we've seen so far, right? So we were trading sideways across here for quite some time, and then we saw yesterday the breakdown, okay, and we were unable to find any decent support. Instead, we found resistance just here at 102, and then we fell down, really consolidating around this area, right? So we obviously pulled back, got this bounce, pushed up here. Now, what's interesting about this is if I grab that Fibonacci and we say, okay, well, if that was our high point just here, and then we pulled down, we've actually then passed and turned into the 786 into a support line. This would be helping us sustain this area and looking to push up over time. With that being said, though, this most recent kind of pullback that we've seen here and these set of candles, so we obviously have this high, this low, and now we're pushing up to these higher areas, we are of course overbought. So we are going to be looking to pull back, right? But where are we going to pull back to? We obviously want to find a good support level. So in order to help us do this and to understand, how XRP is faring, we're going to jump over to 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗏. We're going to check out the XRP data, and we can see we have dropped down to a B3 rating overall. And when we take a look at this, we can see some interesting issues, right? We have liquidity issues. Okay, so now we've got problems with liquidity. So that's a C2. We can see that we've got a lot of fear in the space, rating of D. Okay, and again, that's pretty much in line with what Bitcoin is like right now. Moving averages have been affected because of the sentiment and the pullback. We have peak end value demand at B2, so that's pretty good. We have the A1 for profitability, and the Sharpe ratio is an A2, just coming in line with our 50-day average now. And again, this is an area that we've come to before and really bounced off from. So this being a risk-reward ratio, the risk to holding XRP versus the reward of holding XRP. And it's an A2 rating. So right now, that's actually not too bad. So the overall rating of a B3 is really just down to the fact that the sentiment's bad. The liquidity has gone bad because everyone's kind of rushing to sell, and obviously we can see that the moving averages have been affected. So when we jump back down into our charts here, yes, we should probably be looking at a significant pullback. Okay, well, we'll probably be targeting this area down here of around this 88-cent support. Okay, hopefully we won't pull down that far, but if we do, then we want to obviously acknowledge that. Now, obviously, there's only these two candles that have bodies below this area. Okay. And what I mean by this, if I grab my rectangular box, is we had this area here all kind of scoped out. Now, for us, we have, let me grab a brush. These are just wicks coming in, and we're down here very briefly, and we're pushing up. Bearing in mind, this is the hourly chart. You're in this area, and then you're out. Okay, so all we would really need to see in order to see some good traction here for XRP is to dip down and out, right, and then move our way up. Now, we want to set higher lows, not lower or lower lows. Okay, so right now we can see that these two are actually lower, right? That was low, then this one was lower. What we want to do is make sure that when we do slip down, which I do think is inevitable, we will basically hopefully set this higher low area, setting an upward trend overall. Like I said, we have broken past the 786 and we've held that area there, confirming this area as a support line, but we are looking for a pullback. The sentiment isn't great, so we are expecting a bit of a pullback of significance. And when we throw the volume on here, what you have is this sentiment where during your sell-off and the price is falling down, your volumes are growing up, and when you're pushing up, your volumes are dropping down. Okay, so it's the opposite way around to what you would normally want, as in when you push up normally with your price, you want your volume to push up with it. So right now, when we know that we have this correction that is due, chances are the volumes are going to increase with the price dropping. That's going to push us down lower. So 88 cents seems to be a pretty reasonable area. I think that's probably where we're going to come down to, bounce from and push up. So I'm going to be mindful over that. Hopefully we won't drop down too low and we'll actually hold this area here. But obviously this downward trend needs to change and we need to get some stability. But I do think this is short-term volatility. And ultimately, I do think that we are going to be in a really strong position for XRP once we get past September and go into October. This is where I start to see Bitcoin do its reversal and start going nuts. And as a result of that, I do think XRP is also going to pick up some traction. And also, with the back of that, we obviously have the Ripple SEC lawsuit that is also potentially going to be in favor of XRP soon. And I do think that's going to be either settlement or Ripple will win. I don't think the SEC really have much choice but to settle. So they're going to have to come up with some kind of agreement with Ripple, and hopefully they can just put this whole thing behind them. And in doing so, we'll actually start to see a huge surge with XRP overall. So I'm hopeful that that happens in this bull run. If it doesn't happen in this bull run, then we are still talking about a pretty significant bump on the price. If I actually jump back up into our daily here, under the current performance levels, we can see about $6.68. If we do get settlement, I do think we are likely to move up to that $15.91. I'm going to leave the video here, guys. I think there's some short-term volatility. The market is not in favor of XRP at the moment. There definitely seems to be liquidity problems. There definitely is a lot of fear in the space. I'm expecting some short-term volatility, a slight pullback towards the 88-cent area. But once that is done, I do anticipate us moving up in a nice strong way as we continue this bull run and continue the growth of XRP overall. I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.